Big thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring the KRIM Community Spotlight Program. Happy Monday, everyone. That is right. Happy Monday. It's great to have a new week here upon us. And this morning on our Spotlight program, have some guests and always look forward to this program. We're going to be talking about Hashknife Pony Express with Captain Mark Reynolds and his brother, older brother, Steve Reynolds. And what actually title? You got Captain Reynolds and
First Lieutenant.
First Lieutenant Steve Reynolds. There we go. Well, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
And
Good morning.
thanks for coming on. And we're also going to be joined with or by Steve Christensen, County Supervisor, in just a little bit to talk about the statue that recently was put up to recognize, to honor the Hashknife Pony Express. And boy, what a great tribute, what a great thing to have that. I know Holbrook has the statue up there. If you want to talk a little bit about the statue up there, the
Sure.
ride.
We started trying to work on this statue in Holbrook for the last 20 years. And Scott Rogers, who is the artist, was involved in the statue down in Scottsdale. He came out second, but I really liked the motions of it, the way he builds his horses and stuff, and the muscles and stuff and so I contacted him probably about 10 years ago and said, hey, if we ever do a horse in a statue rider in Holbrook, would you be interested? So I kept in contact with him through the years and stuff, and then we had two ladies come to one of our board meeting and asked us, they would like to help raise money to put in a statue. And unbeknownst to us, they had been talking over with the city manager for a couple of meetings, and we said, sure. And so I called Scott, and we got a price, and then we started working on it. He was very gracious about letting us extend it out 3 years to pay for it, and so we started, and we dedicated it last year at the swearing in. Had Eli Crane's office come, and Jeff Tim, who is his liaison, dedicated the statue for us. And then of course you showed up, and Steve showed up, and unbeknownst to me, I didn't know you guys were working on a statue for here in Payson until Steve called me and said, "Hey, what do you think about us trying to put a statue in Payson?" And I said, "Hey, I think that's great. You know, Payson has been with us for 66 years. They've been right with us all the way." And I said it'd be great. It'd be a continuation of the statue in Holbrook. And then we put it together. You guys all came together, both the town of Payson and Gila County, and 4 or 5 businesses, I understand.
Yeah, for, well, Tano-Apache Tribe, one of the sponsors, and then Stan Gardner in honor of his late wife, Sue Connell, who was council member, vice mayor of Payson for 12 years. She was on the council, and he dedicated that for her. The Whiting family, Gordon Whiting, did that, and then also one more, Debbie and her husband, and I'll think of her last name here, but yeah, they're all on the statue, and yeah, it was just a great thing. As soon as or when we were up there in Holbrook, and I'm sure Steve just coming in, he can probably he'll probably say the same thing, but when I was up in Holbrook at that dedication and seeing that statue, that was one of the first things that came to my mind was, wow, we need one of these in Payson. This would be great to have a statue, this statue or a statue like this in Payson. So it was just a great honor to get it done, right, Steve?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I got to thank these two guys here, Steve and
Yeah.
Mark. So they were the driving force, the artist, of course. What's his name again?
Scott Rogers.
Scott Rogers, right? Just missed my brain right there, but
Yeah.
we got such a great deal on it too.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
And
That's,
so we partnered together. The town of Payson and Gila County partnered together, put it in the exact right spot,
yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
right across from the post office,
Yeah.
right on the county complex, and
Yeah.
it's just amazing. If you don't know where it is or what to do, go down there. It's right on Frontier, right next to the Beeline, and go over there, read the plaque, take some pictures.
I know, it's wonderful. And
Yeah.
so the ride, you guys will be riding in January 31st to the post office, approximately around 5 o'clock, is that right, Steve?
4:45.
4:45?
Yeah, we deliver the mail at 4:45.
And this year, what year is this again?
66 year.
And the theme, you guys have a theme then, don't you?
Yes, our theme this year is 66 years on Route 66 because we start out on Route 66 and always have.
Wow.
Come.
Now, how many of those years have you been riding or part of the Pony Express?
This will be my 47th year.
47th year. Golly, that's just a few rides.
That's back when you're just a pup.
And the ride is actually a fundraiser for the Navajo County Sheriff's Posse.
Uh-huh.
And we do search and rescue.
Mm-hmm.
We've worked many fires.
Mm-hmm.
We spent 28 days on the Rodeo Chedeskai fire.
Wow.
We helped evacuate Heber, Overguard, Pinedale, Linden, Clay Springs, all the way up into Shoalo, Pine Top, Lakeside, Honda.
Mm-hmm.
It was a massive effort by Navajo County. It was a massive fire, as you can remember. And we not only evacuated people, we evacuated livestock, we evacuated horses. We took everything out of the area that we possibly get our hands on to keep from burning up.
Yeah, I remember, talking with former Mayor Kenny Murphy. He had been mayor for 6 days before or when the fire happened. So 6 days he had been mayor. Thankfully, he had been on council for 8 years, so had some experience there. But sitting as mayor for 6 days, then that fire happens. And I think he said that came 6 miles from Payson. So there was obviously talk of Payson evacuating, but all the people, livestock, assistance that Payson and surrounding communities provided for the fire, something. So,
Well, I tell you, in '89, we had one of our sheriff's deputies shot and killed on I-40, and Gary Butler took office at 12 midnight.
wow.
Glen Flake went off at midnight, and Gary Butler took over at midnight. It was surreal, but I mean, yeah, we're now the Hashknife Pony Express has been, we've carried the football in three Super Bowls. We've ridden in the Fiesta Bowl parade for like, it seems like ever, and we have, but we couldn't do it without our sponsors. I mean, they're too long to list right now, but I just personally want to thank all the sponsors and stuff that have kept this thing alive for 66 years, because without them, it probably would not have happened. It probably would have shut down 25 years ago.
And the other part of your program is going to the schools, and every year going into the schools, talking to children, giving them the opportunities or telling them about the letters that they can write, the coloring contest.
Well, there's a history behind that.
Yeah.
I was when I was in college, my minor was history, and I did a paper on and I was riding Pony Express back then, and back then we had a regular letter that went into an envelope. And I was sitting at home one day, and I did a paper on a guy that was in the Mexican-American War. I got all of his letters in his diary while he was in the war, and he was out of an outfit, a unit out of Pennsylvania, and he would write his letter, and then he would fold the letter up, and then he would seal it, and then he would just write the town in Pennsylvania and his wife's name. And no zip code back then, but I got his letters, and I thought, what a concept. So now from that came the trifold mailer. We have a picture of 2 Pony Express riders, and they're for sale. We do sell trifold mailers. It's got a picture of the Pony Express riders doing a mail exchange. It's got an area where the children can write, and it's got it folds up, and you can put a first class stamp on it, and you can address it. And in the school system, it's actually, we teach the kids how to do that. We come in, we talk about it, how to do it. Their teachers are aware of it, and we get all this mail from our children. Now, not just from our route. We get mail from all over the state. We get mail from all over the United States. We get mail from all over the world. Hashknife Pony Express is the longest existing contract under Postal Pony Express mail carriers in the history of the United States.
Wow.
The original Pony Express only lasted 18 months. It went approximately 2,000 miles, and they never got a contract. We have been under contract consistently. Our contract is from Holbrook to Scottsdale. We service all the zip codes on our route, okay? And so it's very important to people that they know that, and we tell our children, we get mail from a school in Soweto, South Africa every year, and their mail is with our kids' mail.
Wow.
You know, and the driving force behind this is we became a historical event at 50 years. Now we are history. In the centennial year, 2012, of the 100 events, we were in the top 10, Hashknife Pony Express. And one of the great things about what's happened now is we no longer make history, we are history. We have to live up to all of those things that we've done. Everything that we do is a historical part of what we do. Those letters that those kids are mailing are historical documents now because they're on a historical event. And we tell them to keep those letters, show their children and their grandchildren when they get up in age, and keep them. And we're on our 4th generation of mail, of people sending mail on the Pony Express ride.
That was one of the great stories, talking with the tribal chair, Calvin Johnson, and he shared with me that he received a letter his grandmother sent to him, and he got that, I think he said he was 9, 10 years old, you know, and got a letter. He still has that letter. You can find out more about the history of Hashknife Pony Express on their website, hashknifeponyexpress.com. Also, complete schedule is on there, and a complete list of sponsors as well. And just listening to all the history, Steve, I know you're kind of a history buff too.
Oh, I love history.
Yeah, and what an incredible privilege for us in Payson and Gila County to have Hashknife Pony Express 66 years come through here, and now that statue is there.
Yes, and so it's a great honor to have the Hashknife come through Payson and do what they do for 66 straight years. And that's really great. And Payson has even more history when it comes to pony delivery. Not associated with the Hashknife Pony Express, but Payson, this area right here, was the last place in Arizona and maybe the United States that actually had post office pony delivery between Payson and Camp Verde.
Wow.
And that ended right around 1913, if I remember.
Wow.
And Tuffy Peach was the guy that did that. And there's actually a rock with a bronze monument right along the highway, right in downtown Pine. It talks about it. And so, I mean, he rode from here up, picture this now, 1913. So he rode on up through Pine, Strawberry, ends up over, going down into Fossil Creek, and back up the other side, and cross country over to Camp Verde. He had to be a pretty toughy peach. So, you know, there's so much history here with Zane Grey, the creation of the rodeo. We have the oldest rodeo in the world. It's just such a fabulous place here, and to have the Hashknife honored here is only appropriate.
And the connection with Scott Rogers, that was really cool, listening to him speak at the presentation of the statue and share with everyone his connection to
I had no idea.
to the area
Right.
and his family.
His family.
Up in Strawberry.
Mhm.
And was it grandfather or great-grandfather owning the Strawberry School, that building,
Mhm.
and selling it to pay for the delivery of,
His grandfather founded Lehigh, Arizona, which became Mesa.
wow,
Right.
wow.
So, Mormon pioneers, he's a
Uh-huh.
descendant of those people that came in here very early.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's just, that's how it should be, him,
He was
doing
actually
the
quite
statue.
emotional that this
Yeah.
was coming here, that he was able to be a part of this and
Mhm.
do this. It's a big feather in.
Well, actually, when we tell our children and people we talk to, this is our 66th year, we do the ride,
Mhm.
but it's everybody's Hashknife Pony Express.
Mm.
Everybody plays a role. Everybody, the history is our history, all of us. Everybody that's participated, it becomes their history. It's Payson, it's Gila County's Hashknife Pony Express. And to a certain extent, we cut through Coconino, through Forest Lakes and stuff, that's part of their history too. Navajo County, and then down into Maricopa County, and these different reservations that we cross through and we go through, it's part of their history too, like the young man or the tribal member that got the letter. So it's a shared event on a level that's kind of like, multi-level marketing, and you start out with 3 people and you have 10 million by the end of the thing, and that's where we've gone. We have a lot of people that are aware of it. We have another page that we just put up on Facebook by Mark's son Royce. It's called Hashknife Pony Express, Holbrook, Arizona, and it's got a lot of information on it. They just put it up about a week and a half ago, and it's gone viral.
Mhm.
It's gone viral because our Facebook people can share that with their Facebook people. So if you want to get on there and Hashknife Pony Express, Holbrook, Arizona, go ahead and get on there. Look at our schedule and everything's on there, and you can also share it with your people on your Facebook page.
Mhm. And you know what, if you can just talk a little bit about that, the ride, I know what it entails, or how much, with the preparation, with how many riders you have, with the support crew, just with all
Back
that.
back when it first started, they wanted to take a letter to Governor Paul Fannin.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't really know how to do it, or they were gonna take a wagon or something, but they decided the last minute that they would write a letter, put it in a satchel, and carry it all the way down to Phoenix. That was before 260, 87. That was,
They were all dirt.
it was all dirt, and so they rode up over the hill, delivered the mail to him, invited him to the Hashknife Stampede Rodeo in Holbrook.
Mhm.
And then the next year, Scottsdale said, hey, you know what, can you guys come to Scottsdale? And so, it just took off. And it has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and, but I have to tell you, we went to Pine, to the school.
Uh-huh.
And all the years that I've gone to the school, I've never had this question. One of the children said, how come you guys came to Pine? And I said, oh, great question. I said, in 1967, during the big storm and stuff, where it shut down everything, they couldn't get up over the rim. So they went to Winslow and came up 87 to Pine, and they had to pick up the mail at the post office.
Wow.
So after doing that, we have a spur ride to Pine every year to pick up the mail in Pine. I told nobody has ever asked me that question. I said, that's just a great question. I finally got to tell that story.
And that road was dirt.
Mhm.
And I know there's some old timers out there, kind of like me, that remember when that was dirt coming off the top all the way down and into Strawberry there.
Well, you're so old that when the Dead Sea was young, it was just barely
Sick.
just barely getting
Still,
sick.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how many riders do you have now? This year's
Approximately anywhere from 22 to 24. I got a couple of, I just got a call a couple days ago. We've been waiting on a couple of teams to let us know whether they can come, and so we think we got another team coming. Well, you gotta understand, it's not like it was 30, 40 years ago. When we're called out for a search, the businesses would allow their guys that were in the posse to go. Well, that's no longer the deal. So these guys have to take off, put in time way in advance, because everybody's trying to take off, so, and that's one of the, and we're all volunteers, so.
Yeah.
There are not that many mounted sheriff posses left. I mean, we had one in Silver Creek. I mean, there are a number of mounted sheriff posses who have been replaced by four-wheel drive Jeep posses and, you know, walkers with dogs and side-by-sides and all that. It's really gone.
Drones.
And now we got drones. We have drones. The sheriff's department has drones up and over. So but we still are managing to keep that history with a mounted sheriff's posse. And there are areas where horses can get into that people, it's pretty rough on people, so it still works out.
Oh, yeah. And again, Hashknife Pony Express arriving in Payson on January 31st, 4:45 at the Payson Post Office. So you want to get down there early because it does get crowded. A lot of people down there, kids, if you have kids, grandkids, definitely bring them down. Love seeing the horses, the riders, I love seeing all the kids.
And we're gonna have the kids camp there again.
Okay.
And stuff, and kids that come down, we'll give them a handkerchief and a bag with goodies in it and stuff, so bring your kids down.
Well, and you could buy hats, you could buy stuff and take pictures and pictures and pictures of all the horses. And these guys wearing, you know, kind of old-fashioned stuff with the brands all over it and everything. It's really Western, very Western.
Yeah.
We wear leathers like the original riders do on the ride if the weather will allow it. Sometimes you got to go to a heavy jacket and 5 or 6 foot. It used to snow here. You get 5 or 6 foot of snow. I just want to add on your schedule with the people in the outline area that I'll be Pine Post Office will be in Pine at 2:30. So get there around 2 to get a parking spot. The school will turn out. We'll have all the school children there. We will pick up their mail. 2 riders are coming into the Pine Post Office. We'll put the mail in a bag. We'll have a little talk with the crowd, and then the riders will head out and come into Payson, and then we'll come on into the post office at 4:45.
Nice. And the forecast, it only goes up to the 30th so far on the forecast that far out. But 57 degrees, the high. Now, you know what's going to happen is, like when the forecast comes up tomorrow for Tuesday, the 30th, it'll say, oh, down in the 40s, then the 31st, oh, down in the 30s.
It happens every year. I mean, it could be, the sun could be shining on Tuesday afternoon and it's snowing by 1 o'clock on Wednesday morning.
Well, Mark got me. We were on the Weather Channel about 3 years ago. And I come into Holbrook, and I've got the first ride out of Holbrook, which is all through town, up over the railroad tracks, up over that big bridge on the Little Colorado River, and then I do a handoff down there by the county complex. So I'm well versed in what I do. So we're at dinner, the pre-ride dinner, and the weather guy comes up with all this weather stuff coming on, and I look over at Mark, yell at Mark, because they only come out when it's going to be really bad, you know. In my mind, I'm thinking that. So I yelled at Mark. I said, I thought you told me tomorrow was going to be good. Clear. And he goes, yeah, clear up to your ears. You know? And the weather guy knows. No, I run the drone. I'm the pilot for one of the pilots for the Weather Channel drone. And they just drone me all the way out of Holbrook and, you know, photographed that whole thing, and then several more rides down the road. And you put it on the Weather Channel.
Now, coming out of Holbrook, it goes up in elevation a little bit, and there's that little spot. I remember leaving Holbrook one time where it was raining real good in Holbrook, and it was cold though, and it was like maybe sleet. We get up there on that little hill, and the snow's coming down, the road's all slick.
Well, the funny thing that you say that. My old boss, Dan Hines, we got a sight gun, and we went out on 377, and we stopped at the road that goes to the microwave tower. And we turned around and we shot it back towards the mountain where the tower's at, and we're at 6,000 foot right there.
Wow.
And so he started laughing. He said, Holbrook's at 5,000 foot and we've gained 1,000 feet in about a mile and a half. And I said, yeah. I said, man, no wonder. When it says it's gonna snow down to 6,000 foot, we get buried.
Yeah.
But I just want to thank you and Steve for everything. And I would like to invite all the city council members and all the board of supervisors and their wives to the dinner at the Mazazel Casino Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. All right? And
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
Well, 31st. Wednesday is that?
It'll be the 31st. The 31st.
Oh, that's the 31st.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
For some reason, I was thinking Saturday, but anyway.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
that's
31st,
that's the dinner that we have after we ride
That's
in.
very generous. I appreciate
Yeah.
that,
And
yes.
then we're gonna have prime rib, and after doing 100 miles, a little over 100 miles Pony Express in one day, that dinner is a big thing for our
Gonna
guys.
get you hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Mazazel Hotel and Casino do a great job.
They do.
With the prime rib out there at the dinner. Now, is that open to anyone
It
that
is
would like to
open
buy a
to, it
ticket?
is open to the public, buy a ticket at the front door.
All right.
And just
Yep.
to add a little more to the schedule, we will be at Pine between 1 and 2 o'clock on the 31st. I mean, not at Pine, but at Christopher Creek, between
Okay.
1 and 2, at the Christopher Creek Steakhouse. They're gonna put out food on their bar and stuff, and we're gonna keep up that history that we've done.
Nice.
All these years. That's the old highway going through there.
Yep.
We're gonna come through like we do every year, and we will do a mail exchange right in front of the Christopher Creek Steakhouse, right there. So, people in that area that wanna get over there, the people that live in that area, you're more than welcome, as you have in all these years, to come down to the steakhouse there. It used to be John and Olive's Christopher Creek Steakhouse years ago. And it's under new ownership, and they've done a wonderful thing, a lot there. They have a wedding thing there now, where they did over 120 weddings in Christopher Creek last year. And they got tours, where they got tour jeeps, and all kinds of stuff going on there.
Wow. And again, coming into Payson, 445 at the Payson Post Office, right across from the Gila County complex,
Right.
the new building.
And statue.
And statue, I know.
And just to recap,
Yeah.
it's 1 to 2 at Christopher Creek Steakhouse, it's 2:30 at Pine Post Office, and it's 4:45 at at Payson Main Post Office.
And then the dinner that night at 7 p.m. Is
Yes.
that when
Right.
doors open a little bit earlier
The
on
door's
that?
gonna open at 6.
At the Mazazel Hotel
At
and
6,
Casino,
so.
right there.
And the mail will leave out 9 o'clock a.m. on Thursday morning.
That's also a good time to come out, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
That next day
Yeah.
to see
Yep.
the riders.
Watch
along.
it,
We have-
and there's not a lot of crowd
Uh-huh.
at that point, so. Yeah,
Yeah,
come on out and watch them take off.
all right. Well, anything else you'd like to add, Steve?
Just a great appreciation for the Hashknife Pony Express. The people that are keeping it together, running it, and preparing the next generation to continue on with it. It's just a great thing.
It is.
A great tradition.
It is, and again, such an honor to have it come through Payson.
I see you got the memo.
I know. If you're watching on our Facebook live stream, you can see these the hats I'm wearing, and Captain Mark Reynolds there with the Hashknife Pony Express hats, and you can buy those out.
You can buy them at the post office, yeah.
Yeah, they're on Wednesday, again, 4:45 is when they'll arrive, but you want to get there early.
One more, there are 2 places in Payson that you can, of course, I don't have it.
Oh, Bob's Western Wear.
Bob's Western Wear, and we do have another place, but I apologize. I had to turn my phone off because it was making too much noise, so.
Yeah, that's right, where you can get
We get mailers and postcards and neckerchiefs and posters and stuff.
posters.
And Bob has been great. He's always donated something for us to auction off every year. And last year I forgot to go by and get it, and so he brought it and chastised me but I told him, I said, hey, well, thank you very much.
And the post office is running our coloring contest in the school again this year.
Yeah.
And at 4:45, they will be handing out gifts to the winners, prizes to the winners of the coloring contest. Along with that, I'd like to add that every child that shows up at our post offices that is 12 and under will receive a neckerchief from the Hashknife. And so if you're out there and you want to bring your kids to the post office on the 31st at 4:45, yes,
Yeah, this
there's
is,
a baby with a
on my phone.
neckerchief on right now.
That's been on there a long time. That was probably 3 years ago. This is my granddaughter, and she was sitting up on top of one of the
The
horses.
horses, yeah.
And she's got a
That is
hash knife,
great.
and I've had it on there ever since.
Wow. And the other location where you can get the mailers, Western Village.
Yes,
So,
Western Village,
on
thank
the
you.
south end of town, Western Village, and also Bob's Western Wear.
Yes.
Both of those locations.
And our really high item is the postcards.
Mm,
The postcards are really big because they're a full picture of riders doing mail exchanges and going down the road, and they're real collector's items, the postcards are.
All right, well, there we go. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome, thanks for
Captain Mark
having us. Chris.
Reynolds and Lieutenant Steve Reynolds and Steve Christensen.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
guys.
Chris.
Thank you
Coming
for
on.
having us.
Hey, thank you everyone for listening and watching. Time to get back to the music now with some Starship, U2, the Hollies, and more. But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service.
I've got several hash knives.
Yeah.
You don't need those.
See you later, guys.